Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago. As usual, I got some good stuff today. I want to thank Natalie and Marion who hooked me up. Natalie walked me through this crazy hearing. It's actually from a call we did yesterday in Tennessee. Watch out. But before that, I got some good stuff. I have a little update on Janelle, the cone killer. We have a little intro material and some more Judge Stevens. This first bit cracks me up. I actually told Yesenia this. It looks so much like me talking to Yesenia. Judge is on the bench whining about the YouTube not working. If you want to know what she puts up with, this is basically it right here.
Is anything going to work in this computer? We got a live stream. It's just blocked. It's just preparing live stream. It's not being live.
I mean, it might be the Wi-Fi too.
I know it's always. It's always something. This system just, you can't crank it up and expect it to start properly anymore.
Well, hold on. Let me make sure if we're on live on YouTube then. Yeah, you're on.
Why does it say preparing live stream?
I'm not sure if that says that, Judge, but you are on live on YouTube.
Oh, it says preparing live stream, which means it's telling me that it's not ready to move forward. But we're going to move forward. Whatever the signs say, we're going to move forward here. You or Kevin Wood? Let me just ask here. No one knows better about you than you.
Yes, sir.
How many felony convictions do you have?
I would say 4.
Wait. You want to say 4?
4.
You don't know for sure how many felony convictions you have?
4.
Okay, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
In case you haven't figured it out yet, Mr. Defendant, this isn't starting well.
Okay, so you got technically 5. But you know, what does it say about someone who is confused and uncertain about how many felony convictions you have? Well, what about misdemeanors? How many misdemeanor criminal convictions do you have? And we're not talking about JP court or city court traffic where you pay a fine. No, where you had to go in confinement. How many convictions do you have for misdemeanors?
4 or 5.
7.
7.
Yeah. 7.
Jamil Williams for Superior Township.
Sylvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender with and on behalf of Ms. Manigault. Ms. Manigault, could you please unmute and state your name for the record?
Yes.
This is all good. One of my favorites, Savannah Reed. We've got Ms. Manigault and of course Judge Simpson. You know what's good.
Hold on.
Okay. I was thinking you didn't know your name. Go ahead.
Now she's muted.
Miss Manigault, you got to unmute.
I mean, look at that smile.
This is going to be a day.
I'm sorry. Hi, Judge.
Hi. Hello, Miss Manigault.
Hi, how are you?
I'll find out in a moment. How did your test go?
Actually, I have to take it on May the 23rd.
What?
Yes.
Okay. All right. May 23rd.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, stay with me. I'm a man of my word. But no, never mind. All right. Let's adjourn this out. We get to see Mr. Williams again, though. That's a good thing. June 7th. All right. I'll adjourn this matter out then to June 7th. Have you been practicing?
Every day. Yes, sir.
Okay, and how is it going?
So far, so good. I didn't do any damages. I swear to you, I didn't do no damages.
Okay. I'm going to believe you. I mean, as long as the cones aren't dying, we're good. Okay,
Well-
June 7th, 2023, 9 a.m. Miss Manigault, you take care. All right?
Thank you, Bud.
Stay safe, please.
I will. Thank
Court
you.
calls the case, People versus Tiffany Edwards.
Wow.
Docket number
Thank you, Philip. I
2023
appreciate that.
CV 70.
That's very generous. Thank you very much. Oh, here we go. We're going to Tennessee. We had Judge Wolf yesterday. In fact, I cut it out, but our clip from yesterday actually is intertwined with this a little bit. The guy who said "hot damn" on the stand. This is a whole situation. It's a real Tennessee kind of a deal. Watching Judge Wolf struggle through the procedure with two pro se's is worth it all by itself. But we've got dueling PPOs here, and you know, it starts bad and gets worse. Let's do it.
Okay, Henry Winstead versus Shirley Thibault.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for coming today.
This is Mr. Winstead. I need him to come up. Is Henry Winstead here? Come up, please. All right. We have an order of protection that was sought on by Mr. Winstead. The filing date on that one was apparently both of you have filed on the same day, on May the 8th. Mr. Winstead, you filed a petition for an order of protection against Mrs. You pronounce your last name how?
Thibault.
Ms. Thibault.
Thibault.
And then Ms. Thibault, you are also seeking an order of protection, is that correct?
A local defense. I like it.
He has absolutely lied the first part of this.
Wait just a second. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Wow, thank you.
You wish to have an order of protection, but do you oppose an order of protection by him against you?
I just don't want him around me and my kids.
Mr. Winstead, you have sought an order of protection alleging that she has stabbed you and pointed a .38 caliber pistol at you in your home, and you were basically asking for an order of protection. Do you still want an order of protection against her? Do you oppose an order of protection that she sought to have you have no contact with her? I assume if you don't want any contact with...
I don't want no contact with her at this point.
Well, it seems like what the best thing to do is to issue both of you an order of protection. Yes, ma'am?
My name is on the mortgage. I am the person who pays all the bills in that house. I'm the one who pays the mortgage. He has not paid anything and wants to live at this house. I had a witness on the phone that this happened. I have called the police 3 times. He's told me if I ever call the police again, I'm going to lose my kids. He wrote that. He told me when I was walking out the door with my grandson that if I call him,
Hold on.
I'm going to lose my children.
Stop talking. I indicated that you want an order of protection against him. So what are you talking about as far as the house is concerned? Who is in the house right now?
I am.
All right.
And I paid for the house, sir.
No, sir. I've got proof.
That's not really an issue. An order of protection is not a dispute between the two of you. What the two of you are going to have to do is to litigate the ownership of this house. You're not married, so it's not divorce court.
The bank told me yesterday.
Stop talking and listen to me when I tell you that you are here today for one purpose, and that is for me to determine whether or not each of you should have an order of protection. And I'm going to grant you a hearing, and we will allow Mr. Winstead to put on his proof first, and then I will hear from you, And you can both tell me what you want me to hear about this order of protection, and I'll make an order according to the law.
Could you please listen to the recordings? when
It
he's
sure
taking
is
the
not.
I
film?
want you to sit down at that table, and I'll let you put on whatever proof you wish
Can
to.
I bring my phone up here so you can please hear what he says to you?
Do what?
On my phone, he has threatened to kill me. He has
And what are
threatened
you
to-
saying that you want to do?
I need someone to bring my phone up here so you can hear
All
the
right.
recordings. when he has
Allow her to
threatened
go get her phone and bring it up here, please.
Thank you. Can I go get it?
We'll allow you to go get it. And in the meantime, Mr. Winstead, have a seat. We'll come back to you after I've gone through the rest of the docket. All right, last case, Henry Ford Winstead versus Shirley Tybalt, and Shirley Tybalt versus Henry Ford Winstead.
Thank you so much, Purple Ghost Dragon. And yes,
Have a seat at that table. And
It does
Mr.
help.
Winstead,
It
you are
helps
the moving
tremendously.
party, so you'll come around here, and raise your right hand, and be placed under oath. Right, stand up, face the clerk, raise your right hand, and be placed under oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall not give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you've indicated that you want an order of protection against Ms. Tybalt. You will tell me what happened and why you feel like you're entitled to that.
On May the 6th, about noon, I was walking down the hall in our home.
Well, first of all, who is she to you?
So,
Who is Ms. Tybalt to you?
we're actually part ownerships in a home. We divide that home, and I live with her and her two grandchildren.
All right, you say in your affidavit that you bought the house last year,
Right.
right? And the deed to that house, whose name is that in?
That's what he wanted to ask.
Pardon, would you show that to Ms. Tybalt? Ms. Tybalt, this is not a situation where you're going to be able to just say things out loud unless it's an objection.
Yeah, we have some procedural issues as this progresses. You might suspect.
All right, I have a quitclaim deed from Shirley Tybalt to Henry Ford Winstead, an undivided one-half interest in this property. Quitclaim deed creating a tenancy in common. So apparently she owned the property then before that, or she wouldn't have had the right to issue that. Is that correct?
Well, not exactly, sir, if I can explain that.
All right.
During the storm in 2021, Shirley's home was destroyed. She's got two grandchildren, and I had just sold my home in Nashville. And I was looking for a home out here, and I knew Shirley, and I told her, I said, well,
This gets real country real fast.
why don't we look for something together? And she said, well, I don't have a job or nothing, so I couldn't qualify for a home. And I said, well, I'm going to show you how. And so I showed her how, and I gave her $50,000 as a down payment because Regis Bank said the only way that Shirley could do that is to first build her credit. And it took me 2 months to build her credit up to where she could qualify. Then she had to have $46,000 to qualify for buying a home that was not valued no more than $200,000. And then she had to show proof of where that $46,000 came from. I gave her all that. I wanted her to be a homeowner, and I'm the one that got those kids for her. Me and my family. In 2018, we went to Child Services, and we got those kids for her. None of her family showed up. My family showed up. I love those kids as much as she does, but the court granted her the kids, not me. So she's in charge of the kids, but we all live together, and she didn't want me to have no input or no say-so or no, nothing to do with the kids. She said, let's just live like roommates. Well, that's a little hard to do when you got an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old running around. And the 12-year-old's running off every weekend. You don't know where she's at. And the 8-year-old is playing on the dark web.
Nailed it.
And you're asking her, why would you allow this without doing something about it? Anyway, I got the home for her. I put another $50,000 in the home to where now it's worth $300,000 instead of $200,000. As soon as I got through with the home, Shirley was through with me. That was a year later. She started calling the police.
What a coincidence.
Well, after she called the police the first time, it was around Christmas, I went down to Terry Leonard's office in Camden, Tennessee.
If you didn't know better, it almost sounds like she's using him.
And filed a writ of partition lawsuit against Shirley. Because Shirley had no money in this house. She didn't have no money. She was living off Social Security check. So she had no money. And the only way that I could prove to the banks, Regent's Bank, that $50,000 didn't come from drug-related activities was I took her to Nashville and put her on my checking account. I've got proof of all that right here. I gave her the $50,000. She paid $46,000 as a down payment. We got the home. She was now a homeowner, first-time homeowner with 2 grandchildren, and the grandchildren had a home to live in, and when we go, they still have the home. Well, then she called the police, and I asked, you know, why would you do that? And the day that this happened, the morning this happened, I remember walking in a room and I said, Shirley, where is your gun? And she put me on video. The reason I asked her for that, because you got 2 children around and I've got her gun case sitting right here in the hall. It's empty. And she's talking to her sister on the phone. And she says, she made a statement. I'll have to get my brother up here to tell you what the officer said to him, but Officer Patterson from New Johnsonville, Tennessee, was told by Shirley that I was a threat to her. Now, I don't know what she said to him, but I know what she done to me. She pulled that gun out of her drawer and pointed it at me. Now, she's got a phone in her hand. Now, you might could get this on video. She's got a phone in her hand and she's got a gun in her hand.
You can get this on video. I like I like how we're all just rolling with that.
I just walked out of the room because that sort of scared me there. But I had that gun case, and she said, what do you got in your hand? Because she has no lights in her room. For some reason, she likes it in the dark. What I had in my hand was a gun case, and that's why I wanted to know where the gun was.
And when you say a gun case, are you talking about
the metal gun case? Yes, and I felt like if she shot me, well, then would it go through the gun? That's what was on my mind. Would it go through the gun case? And it probably would. And the reason I knew what gun she had, when the officer come in and told me, he said, well, what she's telling me out there is a different story from what you're telling me. Well, he talked to my brother more than he did me. He talked to my brother for about an hour or two because she was telling the officer not to come up there because I would hurt them and do this and do that. So what I'm afraid of, Your Honor, is I'm afraid because I know that right now Shirley would do anything to hurt me or get me out of the house. She don't want me to have no influence on the kids after I've done this. You know, and this has been going on since 2018. I hired her myself. Very reputable child psychologist. For those kids, and even right now today, they still call her. They're welcome to call her. Now, when I filed that writ of partition in January, I knew that Shirley and her family were conspiring to get me out of the house. And I had already spent over $100,000 on the house. And
that's what all this is. This is really about splitting him getting his money back that he put into the house. But they're trying to. He filed a writ of petition, which is the right thing. But then they're also trying to gain advantage with each other via these PPOs.
Got everything right here approved. Shirley's not got one dime in the house, not one dime, other than what she could salvage out of her Social Security check. She lived in a little trailer out behind Walmart when that wall of water run down through there. I come over. I was out there at Birdsong Marina at the time. somebody showed me on Facebook, said, ain't that your girlfriend? And I looked and I seen Shirley's car floating down the damn river. I jumped in my truck and grabbed just a helper there, and we come across the mountain, come in behind a tractor.
I saw a car floating down the damn river, and then we come across the mountain. I mean, it's too good.
Supply and got them out of there, 2 kids and her. Took them out there and rented them a place at Birdsong Memorial for 2 or 3 months till I could build her credit and help her buy a home. I was so proud of her. The kids were so proud. We got them in the best school out there, Lakeview. And I pulled up Lakeview, and Lakeview is one of the most reputable schools in the nation, not just in Tennessee, but in the United States. This little school out here, this little boy sitting out here, my grandson, he is so smart. He's like a 5th or 6th grader. He's in the 2nd grade. Now, since she's got on her order of protection here that
Microphone.
The kids are afraid of me. I wish you'd ask the kids that. She asked me not to speak to the kids or have anything to do with them. And the little boy would have to sneak around and say, I love you, Grandpa. And the little girl, she told me she didn't want no grandpa because I told her she made 2 C's, 2 D's. And I asked her, I said, you're going to have to sit on that table every day until you get those grades brought up because you're on the basketball team. And if you don't bring those C's and D's up, you're not going to play. Shirley told me to quit badgering the children, that I had no authority over them. And I said, so you don't care about these C's and D's? She said, well, she said she'll bring them up. And I said, Shirley, that's why she's not playing basketball right now. I said, she's sitting on the bench for a whole year because of these C's and D's. That coach is not letting her play on account of C's and D's. Maddie's a good ball player. Bottom line is, Shirley loves those kids, and I do too. But Shirley don't have no say-so over that home other than just me putting her on, letting her have a home. I mean, that's her home. It is. But I'm on the deed for the $50,000, and I put $50,000 into it. I still want to give her a home, even after this. But I don't want to live in there with her because I'm scared to now because I know she'll do anything she can to get that home by her.
Did he just say, I'm a scared to now? He makes a lot of sense to me. I find him believable. I put on the thing, who do you believe? You already know who I believe because you know me.
Herself, and she don't understand what this means. I gave her that $50,000 and told her, I said, to protect me, you put me on the deed, the house is yours. That way, if I die, the house goes to you. I'm 71 years old. I got cancer. I don't expect to live that long. But I don't want to lose it like this. This is not the way I want to lose something. This is not the way I want to give her something either. And I feel that anything could happen right now. And I want to sell that home. And when I had this partition, she didn't even answer it. She didn't. I got it right here if you look at it. She did not even answer the petition. She told me, she said, I don't know what to do there, so I'm not going to do nothing. So I had to go back to Terry Leonard's office and tell him to drop the petition. The last day, I told him to drop the petition because she was not going to honor it. And I told her, I said, what we'll do is after school, we'll sell the house. And that's what she agreed on. After school, we'll sell the house. That's that. She never answered that summons to the court when I filed it. I paid $1,100 to file it. I told her, I said, I'll give you half the furniture and $30,000, Shirley. That way I might get most of my $100,000 back. Because as of right now, proof is in the pudding, Judge. She don't have a dime in that house because you can't get dimes out of something you don't have, and she don't have nothing but a Social Security check. She has no car, no home, except the one I just gave her, and she wants to get rid of me, and she's been conspiring with her family to get rid of me, and somebody else would move in and help pay the bills. She said that I had nothing to do with that house. Well, right now, the electricity and the cables in my name. She says that I don't own the house, so you just seen where I own half of it. She's got no money invested in it, but she wants me out of there. I don't know what to say other than she pulled a gun on me, and I'm going to prove that as soon as I get her on the stand here. She didn't only pull a gun on me.
Even that's cute. He's on the stand currently. He doesn't know that. I mean, which to me is just charming. I'm gonna say that I'm fixing to testify later and tell you, oh, you're testifying right now, dude.
Grabbed at me, and it actually went through my shirt. 2 of them actually. So I had on a loose shirt. She's got a knife on her bed, a pistol in her hand, and a phone in her hand, trying to work all 3 of them at one time and trying to get me on video to say anything that might hurt me. And she's got her sister on the phone as well. So the police officer, Officer Partition from New Johnsonville, Tennessee, he told me later, he said, man, she had me so scared I didn't want to approach the door. So he called my brother out there. He lives in Nashville. And talked to him about an hour.
Oh, don't worry.
And Philip told him, said, if you walk up there and knock on that door, buddy, he'll let you in. He walked up there and knocked on the door. He come on in and we talked for a couple hours. I don't know what was said, Your Honor, but the officer wound up taking her out of the house instead of me.
Where are you living right now?
I'm living at my home in 736 Arrowhead Drive. And she's staying, the officer took her over to her sister's house. And I don't know why, but I hope you got that statement from Officer Patterson because I'd like to see it myself. Why he took her out of our house, you know, just because I didn't press no charges on her. I mean, I didn't do nothing to hurt her. I would never do anything to hurt her. I paid $10,000 to Doris Selena to get those kids for her. And that was in 2018 when her son died of an overdose. And then the mother of the children died of an overdose a year later. Now the children have no mom, no dad, and they was raised by an aunt, an uncle that was drug addicts themselves. So I went in and I wanted to help them. I wanted to help all of them and wanted to help her. And when she gets up here on this stand, I want her to tell me I'm wrong about any of that.
And that's what I want you to understand is this hearing is only about.
I understand that, sir. And I'm just glad that you allowed me to say
you
what
be quiet, okay?
Yes, sir.
When this hearing is only about whether or not there should be an order of protection from you, protecting you against her, and whether or not one should be issued by her against you. So the possession of the house will be obviously necessarily a part of that, but the ownership of that house is going to be determined in a partition suit, which you're going to have to refile in order to deal with that. And I'm not going to make any ruling regarding who owns the house or any such thing as that. You have a deed that gives you both joint ownership. So, all right, is there anything else regarding the need for not your history of your relationship, not what you've done for her, but what you think she poses as a threat to you?
Yes, I definitely do. I think I hate to say this, but Shirley's got some problems. She needs to deal with those problems. I've even offered to pay for those problems if she would see a psychologist with me. I'll go with her.
You're not going to be able to go with her when you have an order of protection against her or she has one against you. You'll both be prohibited from having any contact with each other.
Well, that was before too, I've been trying to, I've been helping her, Shirley, for quite a few years now. And she's reached a point now where she don't need me no more. So
all right,
I need to go.
Is there anything else then you want to tell me before I let her have an opportunity to question you?
I'm through, John.
All right, ma'am, if Ms. Tibble, you have anything you want to ask him, you're going to be allowed to testify. Sir, whoever you are in the courtroom, quit making gestures and quit sending messages. Just sit quietly or I'm going to have you removed. Do you understand?
Yes, sir. I do have some input and I would like to give.
Well, I don't know who you are, but you're not going to be given any inputs right now, so go outside of the courtroom. Go outside the courtroom, and if you are necessarily going to be a witness, we'll call you in a minute.
Oh, he is. You'll see him. That's the brother.
All right. Ms. Tibble, do you have any questions? You're going to be given an opportunity to testify. So this is not for you to argue with him, not for you to make statements. It is, do you have questions? If you have a question, come to the podium, and we don't have a microphone to give you, but here, put this one up there. Surely I can talk loudly enough to be heard.
The first time the police were called, why were they called, buddy?
I'm sorry, repeat
The
that.
first time the police were called, why were they called, buddy?
I have no idea.
Because he was threatening me and my granddaughter.
Again, you're making statements. You can ask questions. You cannot make statements.
Did you try to kick Maddie out over in deep grades? Can I explain something? My granddaughter.
No. You're going to be given an opportunity to testify. I understand, and that's why I'm trying to give you an opportunity to do it right. The opportunity is for you to ask questions. You don't have to ask any questions. I'll let you just take the stand and testify. But if you want to ask him a question, now's the time to do it.
Buddy, on November 12th, did you come down there and try to kick my 12-year-old granddaughter out of the house?
No.
Apparently he's going to lie on anything I ask him, so I have no more questions for him.
All right, thank you. Have a seat. All right, sir. Who was this individual that was in the courtroom?
That's my brother, sir.
Do you want him to testify?
Yes, I do.
Then call him in. You have a seat at that other table, please.
She just got up, made a few statements, had the judge say, you know, that's not how this works, and then and then just ran away. Oh, it's good.
Judge, his brother has never even heard any of the stuff that he said to me.
Well, then that's good questions on cross-examination, but you can't object to him calling his brother to testify. Come up, sir. Come on up here.
Oh, good Lord.
Mr. Winstead, I'm going to ask you to come around here and raise your right hand and face our clerk so she can place you under oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall not give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, have a seat. And Mr. Winstead, this is your witness, so you're acting as your own attorney. Go to the podium and you ask any questions that you want to ask of this witness.
Philip, would you state your name for the court?
Philip Winstead, I'm your brother.
And Philip, what do you have that might give us some input on what you spoke to one of the officers about on May the 6th around noon when the police was called to my house? Can you tell us?
Actually, I think it was a little earlier, but I can tell you what was said.
What did you and Officer Patterson speak about?
All right. The officer called me. I think he might have got my number from Shirley.
Okay, I mean, I know we're way past this. It's a compound question, and it calls for a hearsay answer. The judge is just letting it fly. He doesn't care. He's like, he wins just because he actually asked a question.
And said, we need your brother to come out of that house. There has been a disturbance, and we understand that he is a very violent person. And to be honest, we don't want to get nobody hurt here. Can you speak to him? I said, yes, sir. And I can tell you right now, he is not going to be a threat to you or any of those other officers. And if you need to go in that house, I'll get him to come that door any way you want him to.
Well, look here. We'll just say hi real quick. He lives.
Howdy.
Ben Bateman was his name. We all know his name.
Oh, what's his name? I'm looking at.
Go over and see my
Is this
Viva
the
Las
36th
Vegas.
District Court? I'm a Zoom hearing today. The 36th District Court?
No. Ben, you're just in time for some flagrant hearsay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Flagrant hearsay?
Yeah, yeah.
It was just a TPO hearing. You know,
yeah.
I caught the very first part of this where I had to make some phone calls. And I will tell you, I don't know how long this judge has been doing it, but that is so common for defendants not to know how many felony convictions they have.
Well, yeah, you deal with it on the daily there.
It's like, what do you have? Well, I don't know. I'm like, what do you don't know? Asking about their record, like, oh my gosh. Anyway.
Yeah, you actually ask these people on a regular basis because you're going into a sentencing. It's a factor. Like, all right, how many convictions do you have?
I'm trying to get it resolved. Like, what kind of record do you have? Is it for like same or similar stuff? You know, or you have several prior drug convictions or stealing cars or whatever? Well, I don't know. Oh my goodness.
This one's interesting. The TPO we're in right now, the one of the guys, one of the guys in the TPO, he actually has a murder conviction from like the 70s or something.
Oh, fun.
But they don't bring up anything else. So it's like, that's like that's a weird profile. Like a murder and like and no other criminal history, at least that's brought up.
Right. Interesting.
I mean, yeah, if you have one offense, it's usually jaywalking or something,
Right. And you should know.
You went whole hog. All right. Back to this. We gotta get this thing going. Where are we here? Where are we?
All right.
And you can do whatever you need to do. And he said, thank you. I was still on the phone with my bride on the three-way. I was still on the phone when he went to through. He went in there. He's talked and seen what was going on with my brother. He also confiscated a weapon, which I had told my brother. I had helped my brother buy a gun safe for him because the two kids there, I said, it's not safe to have kids with guns out in the open. And it's all over TV. So that was why he was trying to do that right there. The officer heard that. The officer talked to Shirley some more. He made an incident report. I also read the 2 restraining orders, Your Honor, and the judge said Shirley had no grounds for hers, but he granted my brother.
I'm not interested in hearing about that. What I want to know is have you seen or observed anything that
I
would
saw the
relate
2
to that?
guns, and I know that she wants to hurt my brother, and she has already attempted to. And obviously, for that officer to have taken that woman's weapons, he obviously saw something, and I wish to God you could read his incident report. Maybe you can, I don't know. But yes, sir, as a family.
Yeah, that'd be more hearsay. If you wanted that, what you do is you call him as a witness.
Is he the applicant?
This is the brother of the guy. There's TPO from the 2 TPOs against each other for a couple. This is the guy's brother.
Oh, okay.
Remember, I can tell you right now what I'm worried about. I'm not as worried about her killing him as I am her tricking one of those children like that little girl into killing him while he's asleep. And that is the truth. And I told him that. And I said, buddy, you are a convicted felon. He's 51 years old, but you are a convicted felon. You can't have weapons around you. She knew that when she brought him in the house. She knew it. She done it anyway. And now she is trying to run him off. And everything he has stated in this court to you today is not only truthful and factual.
Well, how do you know that?
Because I was there. I was at the courthouse with my whole family to get those kids for her.
No.
Surely you know it, and the lawyer can
Were
tell
you
us.
in the room the night that this allegedly took place? I don't care about whether he helped her get the kids.
I worry about killing.
Listen, I don't care about whether he helped her to get the kids. I don't care whether he gave her the money for the house. I only care about what I'm required to determine about the violence that occurred or did not occur between the 2 of them. There's been allegations, in her petition that he's threatened her and that she's, he alleges she's pointed a gun at him and stabbed at him. And that's what I'm concerned about. You were not in the room that night, correct?
That is correct.
All right.
I have seen her.
I've heard you talk about that before, but you've heard her what?
I have heard her. I have seen her with those guns around him, around those kids, in a threatening manner towards my brother. And
how does she do it in a threatening manner?
Because when you got a pistol and you're telling somebody to leave a child alone, and they're not even doing anything, but leave them alone, don't say nothing. Well, that's the kind of stuff that would make me fear what she may do next. I have no idea. I've heard you all day up here. You're a very fair judge, and you make it very clear. You ain't interested in nothing but whether a person's life is in danger or it's not. Sir, I would beg you to call and talk to the people in New Johnsonville's police department and let them tell you whether they think he is.
It doesn't work that way, but thank you. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Winstead, for this witness?
It doesn't. No.
Do you have? Are you wanting to testify, or you want to ask questions?
The judge is like, and the explanation is far too deep for you. So
Yes.
Yeah, let's carry on, right?
The Tennessee Chamber of Commerce is having to have their flag behind this guy.
I'm going to testify because he's something I like to.
Then you step down, you can have a seat down in the courtroom. Just
Thank
don't
you,
make any other gestures.
I won't.
All right. Mr. Winstead, is that your last witness?
I'd like to question Shirley if I may.
Well, you're going to, but she gets to testify first.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Tibble, if you'll come up, please. Raise your right hand and be placed under oath.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall not give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you
Yes, yes.
Oh, it's on, people.
I thought there was a steps.
All right. Now, it's your turn to tell me what you think happened and what you say happened and why you feel like you need an order of protection.
Okay, we're not going to talk about the house issue, so we'll just skip to my granddaughter. My granddaughter, when her mother died, she got to watch Pop Life Swim. She's going to find her mom. They were traumatized. Her and my grandson are traumatized. At that point, Bubby did help me get the kid. None of them testified in court because they didn't need to. The only person the judge actually talked to was my granddaughter, the ad litem, and children's services. That's all, and my lawyer, of course. We got the kids. We were in Nashville. During that time, our money went into building a house up to get a house ready for sale. And over the 20th, we've been showing that house within my kids' stimulus checks, almost $9,000 to help rebuild a room. The 20th of November in 2019, he threw me and my kids out because he was jumping on my granddaughter. He jumps on her, he badgers her. She's fragile. At that point, she was very fragile in counseling. He says stuff to her. He had her crying. I told him, leave my granddaughter alone. I have never in my life, Judge, ever put a gun on anybody. I have never stabbed at anybody in my life. I do not have a criminal history. I have never been in trouble like this ever in my life. I've never had no one ever lie like that about me before. So when he kicked us out, me and my kids stayed with my sister. We got an old trailer behind Walmart. We were doing just fine with flood hit. Before that, Buddy gave me $50,000. I helped. We put all money on that house too. We put money on it too. So when the flood hit, Buddy came and got us. He did help us out there at the trailer park. Me and my kids get almost my mouth is dry. $3,000 a month. I can very easily take care of my kids with that money. He convinced me at that point, let's get a house together. Well, me and my granddaughter especially worried about it because we know how he treated her and he had got a very small fuse. He would jump you in a heartbeat. I'm not somebody who takes that very well. I'm not going to have somebody mistreat my grandchildren after what they've been through. Okay? When we talked about buying a house, I really didn't want to buy a house because he was saying get together. My granddaughter did not want that, but he promised us if it doesn't go well, we can vote. Well, we got into the house. He did my name. I had credit to get it. They didn't need his information. I had everything I needed to get into that house. After 6 months, he's like, Shirley, I got my money invested in this house, so I need to drink this water. He said, Shirley,
You have a cup of water.
I have,
We don't have any.
he said, since I've helped you, get into this house, if something happens and you die, because I've got a heart problem. If something happens and you die, then the kid's family's going to come over here and take everything away from you and the kids. He says, please protect me.
Is this the TPO on behalf of the
I should protect him because he has helped us get into his house. It was only fair.
I still don't have it figured out. I think that these are adopted. I think they're her grandkids and her son OD. I mean, it's a bad situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way he tells it, they had adopted away from. I think they are her biological grandchildren, though. They have nothing to do with him.
My mom's putting him on that. He started telling me he's going to put the house up for sale. My kids are going to get out of home. He badgers my granddaughter.
Marie.
She did not get kicked off the
Mr.
basketball
Ben.
team. She was making bad grades because she said she could not concentrate in school. She knew she'd come home. She knew she'd be in trouble. She knew he was going to say stuff to her. I was trying to protect her from having anybody say something to her. He told me that New Johnsonville police showed him a video about 12-year-olds who turned into killers, called my kids killers. I've got them.
By the way, this is all Natalie's fault, so you can direct all complaints to her.
Okay. Who to blame?
I've got text messages of the things he said about my kids, that they're killers, that he's going to go to school and he's going to have my granddaughter to talk to basketball team. He's going to talk to the principal and tell him that my kids are going to be killers. He says that he's got a real worry about my kid being killers. I've got a statement from my children's therapist saying that.
Well, first of all, you can't put into the record something from a therapist who's not here to testify themselves.
Because I told her what was going on. I said that Maddie, right now, my granddaughter, since I was taken out of the house, and I volunteered to leave.
There's just more.
Okay, I volunteered to leave that day. Thank you.
Tell me what you say happened on the night in question.
Okay.
All of this is background information, but tell me, just listen. Again, if I'm talking, you need to wait until I'm finished talking before you start talking, okay? Tell me what I need to know is what you say happened on this incident involving the gun and the knife. I know you've denied ever pointing a gun. You've heard what he says. Tell me what you say happened that night.
Well, that was like the third instance that I've had with him being violent against me. I was sitting on my bed, watching TV. My door was broke previously. I've got pictures of it, and I've got a recorder of him kicking my door in. He kicks in my door.
Why would you stay with somebody that broke your jaw?
Because my door.
Your door.
My door. They kicked my door in because he was bad. I've got a recording. I want you to hear it. That day, the last time he came in my room, I had my door taped shut. I'm laying on my bed. My grandson's in the front room on the computer. I'm laying on my bed watching TV. Actually, I was playing on my phone. And he came in there and he wanted to know why I told my sister about the check that he stole some money from me. So he was back to I told my sister that I shared this stuff with my sister. And then he starts going, where's your gun at? Where's your gun at? At that point, I stood up and I got it on me right here because he had something behind his back. I got it on me right here. I didn't, but I was standing like this. I got it on me right now. I'm afraid of him. He's been violent for me. So when I had my sister on the phone, when he came in and started screaming at me, I called my sister. I said, Sally, you got to come get me in Mason. I said, you got to come get us. And so when my sister goes, Shirley Gale, call the police right now. So when I hung up from her, I went to my dresser drawer, I got my gun out, and I put it in. At that point, I was on the phone with the New Johnsonville police. I tried to call them for a call log to get a recording because I told them at this point, I said, I'm getting my gun out of my drawer right now. I'm putting it on me. I walked out, got my grandson.
So you did have the gun.
From the town, I called the police and got outside and I was talking to police and
I don't know how much time you have, Ben, but I will tell everyone, wait, there's more. We have tape. We have tape. Not videotape, but audio tape.
It gets worse? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, it gets worse.
sister. That whole thing talking to my sister and the police took 10 minutes. I did not go back in that house. I did not know when the police got there why they were looking at me the way they were. He was not hurt. Matter of fact, on the way out the door, he says, now you will lose your kids. Because he told me, and I've got it on recording, if you ever call the cops on me again, I'm going to make sure you lose your kids. He's always telling my kids that I'm crazy, that he's going to have me locked up in a mental institution, and they will never see me again. These little kids that have lost a mom and a dad, I'm all they got. But when you tell them little kids that they're not going to see me again, it's devastating to them.
What do you say you have a recording that you want me to listen to?
I have 3 different recordings.
All right, then get your phone and
let's hear it.
You'll need to hold it up to the microphone there so it can be broadcast.
And I'm going to show you on one of them where I'm going to skip forward because mostly you just I'm going to move this up because
I'm already cringing.
I'm going to turn it.
Put it up there. It's a mic.
Then he says I slapped him and busted his head.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, she thinks she can turn on the phone and then talk to the judge like they're in the living room.
Right. Yeah.
You're supposed to be presenting evidence right now. This she thinks it helps her. I think, I mean, she does not come across as a delicate flower here, shall we say?
Yes, that's a nice way of putting it.
But, you know, don't get paid that way. You know,
It's coming.
Cause I ain't get it, that was scholarship. You should do this, you do. If I die, it's from, oh, you weren't on the beach, you can kick me out again. Why the same way why you weren't on, if you owe a bunch of dollars, I've been able to hold over someone, so people not, I ain't kick out a 12-year-old girl. If you want to talk to why you're not doing it, no, you fucking get it, you got out of the face, but I see, I put on the chair on the bed, standing next to Daddy Crane, but it took him all bucks, my dad did, he got to her, you put the chairs on her, and you didn't even care. And then you come back down there and you told Cheryl, we can fucking get out. Now you want to call me a liar. No, now you call me a liar. And that's what really makes me mad. You did it, and you called me a daddy liar. That's what really makes me mad. No, you're a liar. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done. No, buddy, I'm done with you. I'm done. Leave me alone. I'm done. I'm done. You're a fucking liar. You know what you did to Maddie? You must sit there and fucking lie about it. You go right ahead and lie. Nobody's ever done my grandkid that way either. Why am I letting you do it? I didn't slap you in your face. I did not. I did not. Yeah. You ain't treated Maddie right in a long time, buddy. You dog her out every time you get a chance. Every single time you get a chance, you dog her out.
Yeah, what did you hear me say?
You gotta put it on the microphone. It's gotta be where he can hear it too.
No, I'm not gonna be used like this. One more issue like this right here. Well, you just busted the door, buddy. You just fucking busted the fucking door. You just busted my head. I did not. I gently closed the door. So don't stand there and fucking lie about that. You're such a liar, buddy. You are such a fucking liar.
Okay, I'm sorry, you have to hear that.
Why you trust me more than anything? I thought you were a truthful person. You turned to fucking Satan, man. You're such a fucking...
Excuse me, I'm sorry, you have to hear that.
Is there another recording you want me to hear?
Yes, I've got two more. This was last week, I think, week before last.
Everything they said, they want to go back and reverse it because they feel like we used the whole family. Everything that's out there. Only reason you wanted to come with a paycheck. You used us to get this house. I don't care what the hell you mess me, you'll go to fucking prison. If you mess with me, you'll see. You'll see.
That's what he said.
That right there. Okay, this is the redneck version of the Depp trial. She says you're going to go to prison.
Uh-huh.
This whole tape to me sounds like both of them are aware it's being taped and they're trying to frame the other person. You just did something violent. No, you just did something violent to me, and then they both deny it. It's like it's comical. I mean, it's not, but it is.
Oh my goodness. I hope. Well, what's she gonna do to his bed then? This is the death trial. She's gonna go in and. Oh,
seriously, I mean, but when she does that, she's like, "You're gonna go to prison." So she knows that this guy has an old murder conviction, And she's very much banking on this. I'm going to sit here, cook up a recording, say you did a bunch of stuff. No one's going to believe you because you're a convict.
Right.
I could be wrong, but tell me in the chat. Those are the vibes I get out of this. And I'm not saying he's a saint either, but because they're both just making accusations. Oh, you just hit me. This kind of thing. It's like, pick up your phone and record it then. Why don't you?
Yeah. You just hit me. In the side of the head,
helped.
just for the court reporter there, just so for the record, it's on the right side of my head by my ear. And
It's like they're trying to have a deposition in real time with the events. I don't know. It's funny. All right.
At this point, he is going like this to me. He's up on top, over top of me, pounding at me like that.
She does not sound like she's afraid like he's doing that. He is 5 times her size. She's sitting there dishing out F-bombs at him left and right. She does not sound in fear to me. So, I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't believe what she just said.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Brittany. Go ahead. You think I'm
You hear that is?
As usual.
Yeah. How about you selling your bill going out?
And I've got a threatening to kill me right here. And this was last week. I'm in the kitchen. He come walking in there.
Yeah, she also has a gun. Mm-hmm.
And then it goes from there. I don't want you to have to hear all the swearing. Now, my granddaughter is the one that he targets the most.
I agree.
She is 12 years old. I still got her. I have put her back in counseling again. I want to show you a picture of the door if I can do that. I have never in my life threatened him, not one time. I've never threatened to shoot him. I did not try to stab him. I had my sister on the phone. She's out in the hallway. I have my sister on the phone. She's saying, Shirley, call the police. And he's going, just shoot me, shoot me. I go, you're not worth the bullet. My sister told me to call the police. And at that point, I hung up on her. That's when I dialed Johnson for police. And I walked in my dresser and I got my phone. I got to the house. I got my cell phone and we got out of it.
And you allege in your pleading that Mr. Winstead had been previously convicted of murder.
Yes, he was.
That's what I think.
And if I would have known the truth about Buddy, I would never have, what
are you saying, where are you saying he was convicted of, and what was he convicted of?
Well, it was the story I was told.
Who told you the story?
He told me the story that he walked into a bar, a biker bar, and someone slapped his girlfriend or wife on the butt, and it started a fight. Well, I didn't even look up the case. I believed him because I used to believe him. I looked up the case in December after he moved out. I almost had a heart attack because he cleaned up my checking account. He's done that a couple of times to me where I can't pay my mortgage. I had to borrow the money for the mortgage. So on this day, I just thinking my mind just jumped.
Her mind jumped.
You asked me everything, my mind just jumped.
I was asking you what basis you have to make an allegation that Mr. Winstead was convicted of murder.
Well, because he told me that it was self-defense. After he moved out, because he had done made threats against me, he moved out. I thought, I want to look it up myself. I want to look it up and just see it. So I started looking it up. It was not self-defense. It was murder. He shot 2 guys through a window. 2 guys were already in the car. He shot and killed them. I thought it was, when he was telling me self-defense, I should have looked it up before I ever got involved with him, but I did because I believed him. And his wife had passed away. She was a friend of mine. She told me the same story. Because apparently...
What state did this occur in?
His was in Alabama.
All right. So what else do you have that you want me to consider?
Yesterday when I was at the bank, I had to straighten some stuff out, and I told, when I was talking to the girls down there, And I told everybody had a for sale sign in my yard, and they told me he cannot do that. They go, surely you're the owner of the house. Since he's been back, he moved out for a while, but he would come back to just start crap. He told me that him and the police department were working a case against me. Him and Children's Service are working a case against me. My granddaughter's going to be a killer when she grows up. If you knew her, she's one of the sweetest kids in the world. Both of them are sweet kids. They've been through a lot of trauma. But she's at a point now, she didn't even want to come home no more because she knows he's going to say something to her. Over spring break, she was gone for a week. We got back.
That part I'm not interested in about the effect on your grandchild. I'm trying to determine, was there a threat to your safety that Mr. Winstead was responsible
Yes,
for?
when he came in that morning, I was laying on bed, he came in like this. And he said, why did you tell your sister about that check? Because I was supposed to get half a $1,000 check, kept it. Also, when I was outside with the police, he had given me two $50 bills and a check for $300 because he hadn't paid nothing since he'd been back. When I saw my grandson, my purse was left hanging on my bed. When I went to the store that day, they took me down to Walmart. The police did to meet my sister. I got my purse. He had took the money back out that he gave me. The police took me to Walmart store because I told him I'd already called my sister to come get me. She said, I'm afraid to come to the house because of Buddy. I said, well, would you take me to meet my sister somewhere? And they said, yeah, we'll take you to Walmart. The people across the street told my granddaughter they seen a knife come out. I've never ever slashed at nobody. And as a matter of fact, there was no weed in my room. There was no weed in my room when I left. I didn't have no marijuana.
Wise.
And when the police were in my room, there was someone on TV, and I asked if they could turn my TV off. And he says, where's your remote? I said, I think it's on my bed. I reached over, popped the pillow over, and there was a knife under my pillow. He tried to set me up. When I walked out of the house, he said, you lost your kids. He said, if you call the police on me again, I guarantee you're going to get your kids. He's probably called child service. I don't care what he does. I'm a good grandmother to my grandchildren. I'm not bipolar. I've never been bipolar. I suffered from depression. I lost my only child. Yes, I did. It is hard, but I'm trying to take care of these babies. He has made it extremely hard. And when I went to Walmart, thinking I had money in my pocket, I had 18 cents in my checking account, which he knew it, and then that check came at ARS for $2,000. He was supposed to split it with me. He kept all that, but he ended up writing me a check. I've got a picture of that too, and a check.
It doesn't have anything to do with what I'm trying to decide.
Started at that
Watch
point.
those body
He right
language
there, he threatens my life.
And look
He
at the
gets over
judge
top
here.
of me. He was this right there. That's not the first.
What? I couldn't hear.
I said she needs to go on one of those, body language expert channels here and read the judge's body language. Like she's sitting here talking to him. Look at the judge.
He is not. He's not buying any of this.
He's just like, oh my gosh.
Nobody
I have
is.
to let her talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Time he's done that to me. The New Johnsonville Police Department told me I need to start recording stuff. Anytime I feel something coming on, they're recording. They asked me to videotape anything he did, but I can't get him on videotape. I'd be better off getting on recording because if he sees it on video, he's not going to do it. My granddaughter is not going to kill somebody. She just got baptized a few months ago. She is not like that.
All right. Is there anything else about why you feel you need an order of protection?
Yes, because I'm afraid he's gonna either affect my kids at school, go down to school and say something to them or turn somebody. If you go to school and you tell my granddaughter's going to kill somebody, why do you do that to a 12-year-old child? I'm afraid he's going to hurt me and my kids. My granddaughter doesn't even want to come home because of him. She was gone for a week when she came back. First thing he said, if you don't give me full control over these kids, then it's over. I said, we can't have control of my kids because he's going to try to kick her out at 12 years old. And she'd be here today, but she wants to go to school. She loves school. My grandson has been out of school this whole time. And the police officer even told him, look, let these kids stay here so they can go to school. No. He sat with $2,000 in his pocket, and I got 18 cents in my name, going to my sister's house, sleeping on the floor the last 10 days. My granddaughter's been staying at her friend's house so she can go to school, and I can't get my grandson to school. I have no car.
And you understand, I can't do anything about that because you and he are not married, and there's no law that requires him to contribute to your support.
When he's a big dude, when he comes up on me and is towering over me and punching his fist in my face like that, it's scary. It's very scary. When I'm in my room and I got my door locked and he's kicking my door in, he now that it's broken, he pushes his way in there and starts crap. I stay in my room to stay away from him. Or I stay downstairs in my kids' room to stay away from him. My kids don't want to be around him because he scares them. He scares them bad. And now a lot of this, everything he wrote in this paper, All this, just right here is what this is. This is disproving every lie that he has told in his paperwork to the court, to the police officers. And actually, I'm going to be talking, I'm going to file slander charges against him because now it's in court papers. It's absolute proof. It's absolute slander. He's lied on me and my kids.
Well, you may want to hire you a lawyer for the case that's going to involve this. When I'm talking, would you please stop talking? That you may want to hire yourself a lawyer to help you with the partition suit that's going to have to be dealt with regarding this house.
Yeah, because based on your performance here today, I don't think you can handle that one yourself.
Yeah, I think he should be a little bit more forceful in that admonition there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have had one here today. Oh,
yeah. She's scary as hell to me. I don't know. Like, you think, okay, this guy's got a conviction. It's probably all his fault. I'm sure he's not perfect, but I just don't believe what she's done. And even like the other thing in her testimony is like, oh, he stole money from me. He put it in my purse and then took it back out. No, he took money back because you're being nasty. That's not stealing. Yeah. You don't, a mugger doesn't come up to you on the street and throw a couple C notes in your bag and then come back and take it from you.
Well, you gotta have something to rob, so maybe. Yeah, the fact that Lucky Strikes or whatever she's. Yeah.
The fact that he voluntarily gave you money just prior to that absolutely destroys your story on everything else, if you ask me. But okay.
All right, Mr. Winstead, this is your opportunity. You can ask questions. I will not allow you to make statements or argue, but you can ask questions if you choose to. You're not required to.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to ask any questions?
Yes.
Step up to the podium and speak into the microphone.
Oh, no.
Cross-examination. Let's do it, people.
Shirley, when I entered your room and I asked you, where was your gun? Is that true?
Yes.
Where was your gun?
In the drawer. It's in my top drawer,
Okay.
where I always keep it.
Now, when you had your sister on the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, you didn't have the gun in your waist or
No.
pointing at me or nothing like that. But now, you have two guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this gun that I'm claiming that you pointed at me was a .38 revolver. Is that the one that was in your drawer?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, when you went outside to talk to the police officer, did you have a gun on your person?
I did. I showed him I had a gun, and I got a case in there.
And did he take that gun?
No, not until he came out and said that you were stabbed.
Did you tell the officer that you had another gun?
Yes, I did.
You told him you had two
I
guns?
sure did.
And he come in and found it?
No. They walked me back in to get my clothes. They asked me where it was. I walked them back into the closet. And he said, don't pull it out. But I said, let me slide it out where it's at. When I slid it out, the police officer took it.
Did they take the guns?
Yes.
Did they shake your room down?
I have no idea. They had no reason to. There was no weed
Did
in
they
there.
come out and tell you? Why did they take you away from the house?
Because I asked them to. I called my sister to come get me, and I told them I wanted to get out of there away from you.
So the police officers chose to take a woman and her two grandchildren out of the house
Because you wouldn't
and
leave.
left a convicted killer
You wouldn't leave.
in the house. I wouldn't leave if they couldn't make me. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I couldn't stay there because it's too dangerous, buddy.
That was surprisingly a good cross-examination for a pro
Yeah,
se
right.
right. He's like, whatever. The conviction's on the record. Let me use it. Yeah, you're trying to tell this court that the police decided to
Right. Exactly. All the terrible things that you're saying about me, and you, left me there with the kids.
Yeah, I mean, most of this has been awkward and horrible, but that one particular question, I'm like, oh, that was pretty well done. That was slick.
With my kids, and you know it. You know it too.
Okay, that's all I have. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, and then
All right,
he
step
actually
down.
stops. Well played.
Do you want to see a picture of my broken door just so you can?
I mean, that's, if you want me to see it, you had the opportunity on direct. If you want to show it to pictures,
Also, I have witnesses. Oh, but heard the second.
Show the pictures to Mr. Winstead first.
I would like to ask a question on that.
All right, come back up here to the witness stand then.
Oh, here we go.
Shirley, this picture right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, imagine yourself being in your room. Is that crack you see from the inside or the out?
That's the outside the door where you kicked it?
That is the outside.
Mm-hmm, where you kicked it?
Your Honor, if you look at this very closely, you'll see that's the inside.
You're making a statement rather than asking a question.
Shirley, was I standing at?
I'd love to look at it closely, but you're holding a phone in your hand. I'm sorry, this is serious, but it's also Saturday Night Live at the same time. Oh.
The door?
Yes.
When this happened?
Yes.
Was you trying to push me out the door?
No, I closed the door when you called me a liar.
You closed the door when I called you a
locked
liar. Exactly.
I closed the door and locked it.
Closed the door when I called you a liar.
Mm-hmm.
This is the inside of the door, so when you closed that door, that's when you ruptured the door. If I'd have kicked it in, it would have been from the outside. These doors are not very strong.
Can I see that picture?
I mean, a big man like me could barely touch that door and it would cave in.
Can I show the judge something on this picture so he'll know that he's
Sure
lying?
can.
He is lying to you. He's lying. He's lying to you. This is the hallway.
First of all, he's not testifying. Second of all, you don't get to just yell that the other side's lying in the middle of examination.
Oh man, we had too bad there's not a video. No, this morning I had there was a Sav sit in there and called the prosecutor a liar, and his prosecutor's pretty chill, but went nuts on the dude.
In live court today?
Yeah, this morning. Yeah, it was.
Where at? Las Vegas Detention Center or whatever that is?
Yeah, Justice Court, Department 16. I came in late, and yeah, he wanted to represent himself, but he wanted to get discovery. He wanted body cam footage, but he's in jail, so it's like we can't get it to you in jail. Anyway, they kept going round and round, and prosecutor.
Yeah,
basically called the prosecutor a liar, which this prosecutor is pretty cool and pretty chill, and is, you know. But
not a good thing to say to an officer of the court.
Ask for contempt and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
it was nice. It was exciting.
Good. I wish we had video.
Yeah.
And the bathroom door across the hallway. This is inside my room. I have a penny jar that sits there. This is inside my room. Look, that is a hallway that goes to the outside. This is inside my room.
Okay. How does the door open? Into the room?
Into my room. Into my room. Opens into my room.
Exactly. Into your room.
That's from the outside right there.
Wait.
That's the hallway.
All right. Now you can ask questions. Have a seat. Now you can ask your question.
So I asked you again, Shirley. Is that crack on the inside of that door?
That's on the outside of the door. And both of my witnesses have seen that door, as his brother has too.
What your witnesses?
Your Honor, that door's still like that. If it's like one of the officers who looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're taking a recess. So we'll be in recess for 15 minutes.
Sir, I've got 2 more witnesses. Thank you.
We're ready for, I believe that we have Miss Tybalt on the stand still, and were you asking her some questions, I think, about the door, or were you finished with that? Come on, everybody come back up here. Do you still have questions to ask of her?
Yes, I do.
All right. You want to mark that as an exhibit?
Sure.
Mark it as exhibit 1.
She has no idea what the hell he just asked. Sure, yeah.
All right. Mr. Winstead, you may go ahead.
Shirley, you mentioned under oath a while ago that you did not know of my conviction in 1971.
No.
Correct?
I knew of your conviction. You told me, and Tyann told me, that it was self-defense, which is not what the transcript says. I found that out in December what the truth was about your trial.
Did you follow up to learn that there was no self-defense law in that state?
No, you were convicted of 3 counts of murder, buddy. No, it didn't say, it. You trying to get it overturned.
But did you not state under oath just a while ago that my wife told you of my convictions?
She told me that it was self-defense.
She's not trying to claim, oh, you're scarier than I knew. BS. She knew the entire story while he was putting up $50,000 to get her into a house. She didn't care at all.
Of course not.
And now she's like, oh, I believed you. I thought you were just
get him out of there, right?
Yeah, come on, people.
You just said you didn't know that. I told you.
No, she told me that too.
She told you that.
Had I known the truth, I would never.
So you did know when you
sparkling water
hooked up with me. You did know that I had been convicted in 1971.
Self-defense. What you said.
Second
I
degree
recognize
murder.
it's self-defense. That's why.
But I think the judge could also look that up in the books, in the law books. Winstead versus State, 1970.
Judge is not going to be looking up anything in a book about any prior. She put it in her affidavit, and that's the only reason I asked the question. You've been together in a relationship, and she's known that, obviously, so it is what it is.
The judge is not going to be looking anything up. I love him for that.
And you are aware, or wasn't aware, that there's no self-defense law in 1971 in Alabama.
No, in 1971, I've never been in trouble with the law,
So
so I
you
don't
don't know whether there was or not, right?
No, buddy, I've never been in trouble with the law, so no, I don't look at that.
I just wanted to clear that up, that you did know of my past history.
I thought it was self-defense until I looked it up.
Now, this is pertaining to this order of protection. Since you feel that I'm such of a threat to you and the children, did the judge, when he gave you custody of the children, did he know of my past history?
They looked into something that I trusted you, but they looked deeper into it, and Children's Service did not want Buddy involved. Actually, they were objecting when they were giving me custody because of Buddy. And during the hearings, when Buddy was trying to speak up, the judge told him, "You have nothing to do with this."
That's right. That's right. The judge did not want me involved.
Because it would take
He gave you responsibility for the kids. But did the judge ask you where you were living? Where was you living at the time?
I was living with you, Buddy, at the time.
Okay. Shirley, when you moved in with me, I know this is painful for you. I know you was going through a lot of pain.
I still am.
When you moved in with me, you then lost your job.
No.
You were still working.
Yes.
Where was you working at?
At the time, I was working at the University Club of Nashville.
Okay. And when you moved in with me, you helped me with the bills and stuff like that?
Yes, I did. Actually, I paid more than my fair share, as did your mom.
And I allowed you to stay there how long?
I stayed there for 3 years.
2 years.
3.
3.
And then we got my grandchildren.
Now, when you moved in with me, did you have a checking account?
I didn't want a checking account.
Exactly. Did you have a credit card?
I didn't want a credit card, but I had a home.
Did I put you on my?
What does this have to do with an order of protection?
Well, sir, I'm trying to get some kind of understanding on why I'm such of a threat to her and the kids.
I think it's a fair response from him.
I'm asking him a question. I didn't ask you a question, did I?
All right, here's a good one for you, Shirley. How long have you known me?
Oh, probably about since 2006.
How long has the kids known me?
The kids known you
that was rich.
about 2 years before we got them. I didn't bring them around you much because I wasn't allowed
About
to.
what, 2018, 2016?
They made too much noise for it.
Okay. Now, in all that time, have I ever put my hands on you or the kids?
No, it's the verbal threats and the way you scream at them kids, the way you scream at them and threaten them.
So I'm just verbally too
Very abusive.
Very
much abusive. For very abusive. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You have another witness, you
Yes,
say?
ma'am. I have my friend Heather, who's known me over 20 years, and my sister who's on the.
What are they going to testify to?
She's going to testify of what she has heard, how she has heard Buddy talk to my granddaughter, how she heard him talk when he threw his brother out. She's
I
also,
don't need to hear anything else.
she knows that the door was kicked from the outside in also.
That's a hard
She was
no.
in my room. She also came to my house the day he threatened to break a couple of weeks after he cut the door my head off.
Have a seat at the table. I have listened to both of you testify. What becomes painfully clear is that you two do not need to be together. What's also painfully clear is that there is fault on both sides in this scenario. Therefore, I am finding that an order of protection should be issued by in favor of Ms. Thibault against Mr. Winstead, and one by the court against Ms. Thibault in favor of Mr. Winstead. So from this point forward, you two will be prohibited from having any contact with one another, and it is a mutual, or both of you are going to be under an order. I don't want to hear anything else, and don't raise your hand. You are both going to be prohibited from doing that. Now, the problem that you've got is you've got a residence that the two of you own together. So we'll treat this like a divorce case. Mr. Winstead has been in the law gives me the right to make rulings regarding possession of the house. And in a divorce case, it's not unusual to do what I'm about to do. Mr. Winstead has been in possession of the house since May the 6th. And as a result of that, he has been in the house for 2 weeks. Well, not quite 2 weeks, a week and a couple of days. He will have possession of the house until Friday the 19th, and then we'll vacate the house, and she will have possession of the house from the 19th until, for a period of 2 weeks until the 2nd, and they will continue alternating possession of the house every 2 weeks.
Wow.
So that she can live in the house for 2 weeks, he'll live in the house for 2 weeks. In the meantime, you...
I've never seen anything like that. It makes logical sense, but it's a horrific pain.
I mean, what about furniture? I mean,
it's kind of good because it brings the issues to a head, though, because they can't do that. So they'll have to sell this house and split it. I think that's what the judge is angling for. It's a reasonable thing. You guys both own it. You can't be there together. I'm granting orders of protection. All right, then you alternate use of the house.
Wow,
that's a wild order.
That is a wild order.
But I do see the rationale for it.
I would encourage you to get your petition for a partition filed so that a court can determine how that house is going to be disposed of. There is no defense to an order of petition for a partition. And as a result of that, because both of you own it equally, a quitclaim deed essentially gives him as much ownership right as you, whether you agree with that or not. It gives her just as much ownership right as it does you. A judge in a partition suit will have to determine how any proceeds from the sale of the house are to be divided according to the law on a partition suit. I'm not doing a partition suit. I'm simply ordering that the two of you don't need to be together. You need to be apart, and you need to be protected from one another. I cannot, from this point, determine who is being completely truthful about the episode, but clearly there were guns involved, and there were threats involved, and there was a situation where this court is of the opinion the best thing I can do is to issue a mutual order of protection that protects all of you. And he is not to have any contact with his children. He'll have no contact with their school or them whatsoever. They're not your children. Whether you've done anything for them in the past, Mr. Winstead, or not, doesn't matter. From this point forward, you're to have no contact with them or anything about them. You understand that? And that'll be part of this order of protection that I'm going to fill out. So if you'll wait around, I'll have to, when I adjourn court, I'll fill out the paperwork and you'll be able to get a copy of it when you leave here today. If that is the judgment of the court, each of you will be paying the court costs of the one that the other one brought, and you'll be under this for a period of 1 year. As a judgment of the court, if you'll let me have both these files, I'll take them with me.
Am I allowed to get my guns back to protect myself?
Are you what?
Am I allowed to get my guns back to protect myself?
You're under an order.
There was no guns.
You're under an order of protection. An order of protection prohibits you from having a weapon.
Another little surprise for her.
Nice.
I'm out. Drop the mic and leave.
What are we doing?
This is good. They have to prompt him to leave.
Hey.
Usually,
Go right now.
Bailiff takes charge. Usually tell one of them, all right, you stay here, you go out, you wait like 5-10 minutes.
Well, there you go. You never know what you're going to get on Law Talk with Mike. That is I didn't catch that part of it. That was wild. He says, okay, we're going in two-week increments for the next year. You move in, you move out, you move in, you move out. She's gonna throw a fit and say, well, I have the children, and she assumed that he would have to leave because of the kids, which I think 90% of the time would have been the case. But the judge didn't see it that way.
No.
Judge is like, this is a TPO. You guys can't be around each other. I can't decide the partition issue because it's not before me. So what I'm gonna do is issue this provision so that at least theoretically this TPO is going to be followed.
How are you going to share a house and alternate every 2 weeks and not have contact with each other? How are you going to not?
And then the other kick for her that she didn't realize is she's like, well, what do I do with my guns? He's like, you don't have guns anymore because you've got a TPO against you.
Wow. So, oh my goodness.
So that's wild stuff.
You'd have to at least text someone saying like, hey, are you out? It's my day to move in. Like, they can't even do that. Like, how do they? It's great. There's going to be a violation hearing.
And I think the judge knows that right away, but it does force the parties to come up with a better solution.
Right.
The judge can say, theoretically, I did what I could, given the jurisdiction I had and the issues before me. Yes, I think it's a crazy solution, but what do you want me to do? I can't partition the house. It's not before me. Yeah. I can't kick anybody out.
I bet part of his rationale is to, prompt them to sooner rather than later get this partition action going and, quiet title here to the property and find out who owns it and who owes who what.
Judges do that to me just in practice here all the time. If we're bickering about discovery or some crap, a judge will just be like, I can't resolve this. It's annoying me. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to issue an order that everybody hates, specifically to make us talk to each other. That's the plan. I'll do something draconian, like set a complex trial like for 3 weeks from now. There. How do you like that, counsel? And then all of a sudden we're like, okay, what are we doing for real?
We'll get it. We will. Yeah. That's true. Nothing spurs a settlement or a plea deal then.
Or a resolution of some sort.
Deadline. Yes.
Yeah, I think she was, I think she just was working him, and it did not work out well for her. It wasn't a convincing win for him either, but I think ultimately it was a win for the guy in this case, a rare win for a guy. But there you go. All right, so now everyone knows it. So does it feel good to be back in the saddle? Will we see? Because I'll just say it because the chat's saying it. I don't know, but will we see a new Ben Bateman channel?
Not anytime soon, no. I doubt it. So maybe some more little cameos here.
That's well, that's good. You're always welcome to come by Law Talk with Mike and see that. This was
I did have my question about the English language, and this is my the term co-conspirator. Do you think that's a redundancy? Because, you can't conspire by yourself. So I want your opinion. Do you think that's a co-conspirator instead of just conspirator? It's a tough question. Think about it. You let me know.
I've got the answer.
Okay, what?
It's not a redundancy. Co-conspirator means somebody else involved in the same conspiracy.
Right, but they're your
Conspirator general just means anybody involved in any conspiracy anywhere. Co-conspirator means that you were with that person in this specific conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
I see your point.
that's my 2-second response.
Okay. See, I held the opposite view. I had a discussion this morning during downtime while waiting for. Oh my gosh, yeah, waiting through this terrible.
Is it all hot out there now?
Yeah, it's getting warm, dude. It's getting warm. But
I was out this weekend freezing my butt off. Although today was warmer here in Chicago, but it's this climate is just untenable. I don't know.
We're in the 90s here, but it's a dry heat. And stay inside. Go to hockey games. Let's go Knights.
Go Knights.
Yes, they're playing my other team. I grew up in Dallas. So,
you're conflicted.
Stars in the little bit, not so much anymore. Although we did, I took my 2 youngest boys Friday. We went to the game 5. That was fun.
Very, very cool. Thank you for coming by.
Hey, thanks for inviting me.
It made it fun to have a Ben Bateman sighting here at Law Talk. Even though you guys don't know this, but Ben messaged me some scurrilous rumors about Mikey the goat.
Oh yeah, you need to post those stories to your.
It was a really cute goat, but the police were looking for him for being a peeping goat.
Yes, it was a peeping Tom goat that was finally apprehended today. Yes, but I just want to make sure because Mike's a big deal. You're chatting. You're a big deal. You have a goat named after you. Debbie didn't. Debbie didn't name a goat after me or anything. I'm not.
There
a big
may be
deal.
a gun coming down the pike. You never know.
You're a big deal, so that's why I got to find out if this peeping Tom goat is taken after a namesake. So we'll see.
All right. I'm going to land this one. Thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it. I will see you all soon.